Well, it's safe to say 2024 was a very successful year for Disney at the box office, as this now marks 3 films that were released in 2024 that made over $1 billion. You had Inside Out 2, which was, to my surprise, a very good movie. You had Deadpool Wolverine, which wasn't really a surprise that that movie did well. And Moana 2, which I had some questions about because originally this movie was a Disney Plus show that was converted into a movie. And I think when you watch the movie, you can tell it was a show. I don't think the quality was as good as Moana, but ultimately Moana is a very popular character. It has been the #1 streaming movie for a period of time on Disney Plus, and so I think it actually had an audience and people wanted to see this, and it just now crossed the $1 billion mark, again giving Disney the 3rd movie in 2024 to make over $1 billion. So we're going to read this article here from Variety real quick here and get some thoughts on it. So hi, I'm Jared with Capture the Magic. It says Moana 2, originally conceived as a television show for streaming, is officially a $1 billion box office smash. The animated sequel has generated $445 million domestically and $567 million internationally, bringing its grand total to $1.009 billion globally after 8 weekends of release. It is the 3rd 2024 release to join the $1 billion club, following Inside Out 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine, capping off a stellar 12 months for the film studio. So none of its rivals fielded a single $1 billion release in 2024, though Universal was closest with Despicable Me 4 at $969 million. Moana 2 opened on November 28th and cemented a Thanksgiving box office record with $225 million over the 5-day holiday frame, obliterating the previous benchmark set by Frozen 2 in 2019 with $125 million. Despite mixed critical reviews, the film benefited from positive word of mouth among moviegoers and remained in the top 5 on domestic charts for 7 consecutive weekends. Now, the first Moana was modestly successful with $680 million globally in 2016, but the oceanic adventure exploded in popularity on Disney Plus, where it remained one of the most watched streaming titles. Disney is also developing a live-action remake of the original for release in 2026. It says outsized ticket sales for the animated sequel likely mean a 3rd installment with the plucky Wayfinder won't be too far off in the horizon. Yeah, and then like I said, I don't think the quality of Moana 2 was anywhere near Inside Out 2 or the original Moana, as again, this was originally a show. And I think what you're seeing Disney do is, it's been talked about a lot, is a lot of these Disney Plus shows have been very expensive, and it hasn't necessarily led to a lot of signups for Disney Plus. And for something to make money or be profitable on a streaming platform, it would need to drive subscribers to it. And so it only has one way to make money, as them making it into a movie that will also end up on Disney Plus. They basically are able to monetize it more easily. So them converting it into a movie actually gave them the ability to make money on that end, and then you have people that potentially may sign up for Disney Plus to watch it as well. So you may say Disney not, they've talked about openly themselves being like they spent too much money on content when it came to Disney Plus, as a lot of these shows, if you look at The Acolyte, and some of these shows were over $200 million for a Disney Plus show. And again, these are movie budgets, and Disney has had an issue with budgets for these movies and shows that have limited their ability to really make money because they've had to make so much money at the box office to even recoup their initial cost here. But Moana 2, I suppose on some level, I kind of said it was a gamble, but it was a gamble that seemed to have paid off. And again, I don't think it was as good as the original Moana, but obviously audiences did enjoy it, and more than likely has given Disney somewhat of a blueprint maybe going forward as to perhaps not concentrating as much on Disney Plus in terms of some of these shows, and instead having them have a theatrical release that also end up on Disney Plus. So from a business standpoint, it does make a lot of sense to do this. Now, I would say I don't think that's probably a habit they should get into in terms of converting shows into movies, because watching it personally, I could tell that it was a show. I mean, shows have different pacing versus a movie, and to me, you could definitely tell that originally that's how it was conceived, and then the final act was one that had more of a movie feel to it, probably had a little bit more of a budget into it. So I think, we'll have to wait and see if they end up doing this again, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of these things that originally maybe have these bigger budgets that were just going to be on Disney Plus end up having a theatrical release, because even if they're not as successful as Moana 2, they would make some money at the box office that could at least come up, recoup some of the costs that then also end up on Disney Plus. So as Disney Plus is still, longevity wise, in terms of how long it's been around, it's still, I think, somewhere around like $13 billion in the hole. They've had some profitable quarters the last few quarters, but I think they're definitely trying to find their footing to make Disney Plus much more profitable, have much more content on there. So things like this definitely help with that. But I think them combining Hulu and ESPN, like they're just creating Disney Plus into sort of the hub, if you will, of all the Disney content as linear TV like ABC and things like that continue to diminish. I think we're just going to see more stuff like this. But in terms of the gamble, it did pay off for Moana 2, giving Disney 3 movies in 2024 that made over $1 billion, which is very successful. And now it's nowhere near 2019 when there were just, it seemed like every movie that came out made $1 billion. So I definitely think the movie-going audience is not as easily swayed to go to the movie theaters to go see a movie nowadays. It's something that if there is good word of mouth that people do enjoy it, they will go see a movie, but they're not just going to go see a movie on opening weekend necessarily. A lot of people like to wait and see what the reviews are, if it's something that they enjoy. Now, I don't think 2025 at least may start off as the strongest of foot, given you've got Captain America Brave New World, but that is looking like it's more than likely not going to be profitable, as well as Snow White is coming out later this year as well, which I think all signs point to the fact that that movie is also probably going to lose money. So just because they had a big 2024 doesn't necessarily mean 2025 is going to be just the same banner year, but we'll have to wait and see how all those shake out. But either way, Moana 2 marks the third movie to make $1 billion for Disney, making a very successful 2024. But that's going to be it, though, for this video. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, as we do lots of coverage here of theme parks and pop culture. And let us know in the comments what you think about this. And until next time, we will see you later.